Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Clinic Gym Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Satterlee, and I'm with an old classmate today, Dr. Beau Daniels. How are you, Beau?
I'm doing well, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, Beau, you are out in the beautiful city of Thousand Oaks, California, right?
I am.
At a tiny little facility. What is that place? About 500 square feet?
Just shy of 100,000.
Just shy of 100,000. Wow. All right. So you are the like lead, what do you guys call it? Clinical director, performance director in
I'm
a
one of
multi freaking coach environment, right?
yeah, I'm one of the executive directors and co-founder here at Sports Academy. And so I've got a couple of different jobs and titles and all that BS. But long story short, I run the medical side and then the sports performance side, and I help out with sports as well.
Now, in like 30 seconds, what is Sports Academy for those people who aren't familiar with it or might be listening from somewhere other than Thousand Oaks?
It's a giant facility that is kind of all inclusive, being medical, sports, training, all the pieces of the puzzle that you would want to use if you're an athlete. We define athlete as anybody trying to better themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, etc.
All right. So that means you include the corporate people, but like you have the facilities to train the highest level athletes in, say, volleyball, right?
Yeah, volleyball, football, basketball. And so it goes all the way up to the pros and all the way, I don't want to say down, but all the way through corporate or youth, however you want to think of it.
So in one day, you could have somebody that a young athlete at 6 years old, another one that's competing in the Olympics, and a guy who owns a company, a local company.
Yeah, I wouldn't say could. I said we do. We have that environment in here every day.
Sweet. All right. So how did this all start? How did you get involved with a massive 100,000 square foot facility?
My background is that I started with a partner, a different business, a smaller setup of sports chiropractic, and another classmate of yours, Eddie Stimson. And we started up a sports chiropractic business that had the sports performance training side as well. I owned a volleyball club and coached volleyball from the youth level all the way up to the professional level for 12, 15 years. And so getting involved in a facility like this was something that was always on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
It was a matter of funding, resources, the right space, the right time. And those came about when I was approached by some old friends, Tim Jensen, who I knew from Pepperdine. And he was friends with a guy named Chad Faulkner, who was a guy who's had a lot of success in business and had kids in youth sports, club sports, and bouncing all over the place for personal training and then physical therapy and then practice and then skills and then tutors and everything else. And so, the collective idea was that you would put it all in one building. And so Tim had said, hey, Beau's got a lot of background in the sports side of things, being the training, the coaching, and the medical side. Let's get him involved as well. So that's kind of how it went about. Now we're here.
And when they first unrolled the plans they had for the building, did you pee yourself a little bit?
No, you know what? The funny thing is we were so on the same page. It was a really easy relationship. It really was. I met Chad and I already knew Tim, and they kind of laid out what they want to do. And I just kind of nodded my head and said, yeah, we've been trying to do that for a long time. We just, we don't have the resources to be able to do it right away.
Right.
They emphatically said, well, yeah, we have the resources. And so
right. They didn't have the expertise, and that's what they needed you for, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's a very cohesive relationship.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. That's pretty sweet.
Thanks, man.
So along the way, at some point you started working with a little football team that recently moved to your area, right?
Yeah, that was completely out of the blue. It was a really just shot in the dark type of scenario.
For those who don't know, we're talking about the LA Rams. Beau is the chiropractor for them, and they're currently, 7-0 right now?
They're 7-0. So as of this last weekend. So on a
it's
good
a good time to work with them.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Fun trips, good guys, good organization. Can't
nice.
So.
And did that come through the Sports Academy, or was it totally separate?
No, it was separate. I was given an opportunity because they were in here looking at the sports training facility. So for those that don't know, the way that football and the NFL works is you have OTAs, in preseason, and you have those activities, and then there's a break for about 25 days, a month, somewhere in that range, where they don't have to come into the facility. A lot of guys go home, they're with their families, but the guys that are around, they want to give them an opportunity to get out of the gym in the facility and into another gym. And so they were looking at us because we were opening, had no clients. I mean, the place was beautiful and it was empty. And so the head athletic trainer and head strength coach at the time had come through and toured our strength training facility. Well, in doing that, the head athletic trainer had kind of said, "Hey, what's all this back over here?" And our head strength guy, he said, "Oh, that's our medical stuff." And he was like, "Let me see. I want to see it all." And so they came back here and started touring. And I mean, we're in the process of setting up a big multidisciplinary medical, set up. We're in the process of setting up this huge environment. So it's 8:30 at night. I'm still here working.
Mm-hmm.
So they cruise back here and start touring. And I'm like, who's back here in my area? I got to go yell at them. And so hop up, I walk back there and I meet these guys. And the head athletic trainer and I could not see more eye to eye on how to do things. And so when we started talking how to set up things and how to go about treatment and philosophy, he just kind of said, "Yeah, we need to talk more. I've got to send some more guys here." I said, "Okay, cool." So I gave him my card and he was like, "Let's talk tomorrow."
Hold on. Let me move this empty cardboard box out of the way and we'll flip it over and make a desk out of it, right?
So at the time we were in the process of bouncing back and forth because we didn't have full permits. So we were in here for a period of time, and then the fire marshal would come and say, "Hey, you guys are good, but you can't open up yet." And then he'd come back and say, "Never mind, you're not good, get out of here." And so we had picnic tables outside at the same time. So it was a really unique time. But long story short, the next day, head athletic trainer calls me and I said, "How do we do this? How do we get it set up?" And he goes, "Yeah, I have no interest in that. Why don't you come out here and treat some guys, and let's figure out if you want to work with us with the Rams. There's a trial process, and we've got to get you okayed by the guys, but I think you'll fit well here being, a team guy and being involved in sports for a long time. You've got the right personality for it, and you fit my philosophy." So I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I went through this 3-week trial process where guys kind of gave me thumbs up, thumbs down, and I made it through. And they didn't even tell me I had the job. They just fitted me for game pants. And I was like, "Do I get it? Like, am I in?" And they're like, "What?" "Yeah, you get the game pants, you're in." And I'm like, I had no idea.
That's better than signing a contract, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So
tailored pants.
It was a cool experience. And then that was, the year they came in, and I've been with the team since. So
awesome. So the learning lesson there is always stick around till 8:30 at night because you never know who you're going to meet.
That's the lesson.
That's awesome. Hey, we'll be right back with our interview, but real quick, I wanted to make sure that you know about our Accelerator program and our Accelerator Lite program. Both of those lay out the 42 steps it takes to start a hybrid facility, set up your business model, perform sales training with your staff, and also cover yourself in case of any issue. We have those programs available at our website, clinicgymhybrid.com. Again, that's clinicgymhybrid.com. The full Accelerator program includes building your fitness website, your logo, and a bunch of other time with me. If you're like, "Hey, I don't want the time, I just want to get up and going," then you may be interested in the Accelerator Lite program, which you can check out, both of which include the 42 high-impact lessons to get up and going. And I hope you take me up on that. All right, we'll get right back to our interview now. Thanks a lot. Well, it sounds like your path has really been shaped by like relationships and whatnot. Any tips for those folks who are like, "Hey, I want to get into these big facilities or I want to work in this world," that you would go back and tell your young self upon graduation?
Yeah. I try and help. I have an opportunity to mentor a lot of young people. And the thing that we always concentrate on is that, like you said, relationships are the most important part of this world. Whether it's personal, whether it's business, whatever it is, those relationships are key, as far as longevity, key as far as opportunity goes. And, you either have the tools for the job or you don't, but you'll never get the opportunity to show if you do or don't if you don't keep those relationships.
What's the craziest, I've had this experience, but I'd love to hear, I'm betting that you have as well, a relationship that started years ago that you never thought anything of, and then all of a sudden they're like, they're looking at you as the number one hero in their life and they want to get you involved in something big?
Oh man, hero is a big word. I don't know about hero, but I'll tell you that Tim Jensen and I, we had coached against each other. We had been at Pepperdine together. He was one of the girls coaches, and I played on the guys team, and then I was a guys coach while he was a girls coach there. And so we knew each other. We were friends, acquaintances. We weren't great friends. And then all of a sudden, this whole thing happened, and it was like, hey, man, what a great opportunity to bring me into. And so I'm forever thankful for that.
So from the time you coached with him to the opening of Sports Academy, or when you guys started that idea, it wasn't like you had held hands and said, we're going to create something great. It was just he needed somebody with your skill set, and he said, yeah, I know this guy. He's a solid dude, understands athletics.
Pretty much it, yeah. I mean, I played at Pepperdine in 2002, and coached there, and then I coached there in 2008, and then we got together here, and we had seen each other. I coached and ran a club. He coached and ran a club, and so we see each other at tournaments and things like that, but we didn't hang out or anything like that. And then in 2015, that's when this relationship kind of blossomed. So, yeah, interesting go.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
So looking at what you've learned along the way is opening the Sports Academy, having a on-site, you basically have everything you ever dreamed of as a young player, right? Like, and more probably, because a lot of the stuff didn't even exist.
Right.
Where do you think the opportunity lies for people that are, that are in sports medicine? There are chiropractors. Where's their opportunity that you see that people just don't realize it? Because you're playing at the highest levels now, right? And sometimes people stay small and they stay in that small office going, oh, nobody will want it if it's bigger,
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's a lot to manage. It's a lot of pieces, and a lot of times people are afraid of all those pieces. Mm-hmm. And what I can't discourage that fear, but what I can say is that if you allow it to, negate your dream, you're doing yourself a disservice. Mm-hmm. And so, to those people, I would say you got to go for it. You got to make it work. You're going to find 25 ways that it doesn't work before you figure it out how to make it work. And that's okay. You just got to be patient and kind of sit in for the long haul. But, as far as an opportunity goes, the world of sports chiropractic and the blend between what sports chiropractic has to offer and where sports performance is going is a perfect place for chiropractors to be. If you want to get involved in soft tissue, functional movement, joint manipulation, and then cross that over to a performance aspect, you're in the right place as far as a sports chiropractor goes. And it just creates a great opportunity to be involved on both the sports performance side and the sports medicine or the sports treatment type side.
I don't think there's another profession that handles that spot as well. I mean, physical therapists share a lot of our same skill sets, but when PTs say they want to work in sports, when chiros say it, there's something different about chiropractors. I mean, your sister-in-law's a PT, right?
She is. And she deals with pretty complex physical therapy. She's not doing, ACLs and ankle reconstructions. She's doing some pretty complex, like disease and neuro type stuff.
Cool.
That's what she enjoys. If I told her that she had to do ACLs and that, she would yell at me. She'd be like, no.
Well, that's great that she knows what she wants. I mean, so many PTs that I talk to, it's like, what did you want to do? Work in sports. What are you doing now? ACL rehab for 14-year-old athletes and, post hip replacement PT.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like none of that is sport. I mean, maybe the ACLs are somewhat sports, but.
Yeah. It all depends on the mindset of the patient that you have, right? Yeah. That's what really determines, what kind of medicine you're practicing, whether it's sports medicine or, getting somebody back to where they can tie their shoes.
Yep, that's true. Yeah. What's the future like for you? I only got you for another couple minutes, but what's the future looking like? You think you'll open a few of these sports academies across the nation, or, well, obviously you'll be working with a Super Bowl championship team here soon, right?
That's the hope. It's there's a lot of season left, and the hard part about the NFL is you can win, you can lose any weekend, and it's really something to not take for granted.
That's the beauty of it, is the fact that you watch the New York Giants play and you realize that they've got 2 Super Bowl rings and you think, how the hell did that happen? And by the way, they lost to the Pats. They beat the Pats the year that the Pats were basically undefeated. It's you can't write those stories. That's why they're so great.
That's why we all tune in.
Awesome, man. Well, not to keep you too much longer, but if people want to kind of reach out to you and maybe ask you a couple questions, you mind if they do that if they're looking to set up this model?
No, of course, man. By all means, it's best to probably email me. I'm bouncing all over the place, so that's the best case. And be patient with my time frame. I'm not so good at getting back right away.
My buddy always says, "I won't get back to you today, but I will get back to you." There's like an autoresponder that says that.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So how can they reach out to you?
Just email. It's Beau, BEAU, @sportsacademy.us. Sports Academy is just one word.
And it's .us. It's not .com.
That's correct.
All right. Very cool. Well, Beau, it's great to see you, man. Congratulations on all your success. Hopefully some people are inspired by this. And if you are listening to this just for scale, I mean, it's 100,000 square feet, but you got to see the pictures of the facility to really appreciate what the hell they built. It's pretty incredible.
It's a fun place to spend your day, man.
Yeah, man. Well, when you're not on chartered flights with the Rams traveling to home from yet another win, right?
Yeah, it's a good time.
There you go. Awesome.
It's fun.
Well, on behalf of Dr. Beau Daniels, this is Dr. Josh Satterlee saying, go out there, maximize your license, and live the life you dream of. Thanks a lot, Beau.
Hey, man. Good to see you.
You too. Listen, if you're serious about starting up your own clinic gym hybrid, then please go to clinicgymhybrid.com and check out our website there. We also love to get you involved in our accelerator program, which will walk you through step by step the 42 pieces you need to start your own clinic gym hybrid. I'm Dr. Josh Satterlee. We'll talk to you later.